morning. It's Jackie Capstick, and this is my podcast, The Natural Healing Reel. Today, I have Brenda Pearce, and she is what you call the empowered nurse. She is walking a whole different beat than she probably did for many years, working on the front lines and learning about the new ways to help heal instead of just the old structured ways. She has implemented a whole life, adding in the natural therapies. She's an author, she's a fellow podcaster, she is a TV show producer. She has her show called The Oxford Empowered Nurse. Is that correct, Brenda?
Just Oxford Empowered.
Oxford Empowered, but they call her the Empowered Nurse. So I just kicked that in there. I'm going to let her fill us in because she's got an incredible life and lots to share with us. So welcome and thank you for being on the Natural Healing Reel today.
Thank you. It's so wonderful to be with you and all of your magnificent audience. Thank you.
Why don't you start by giving us some background? Like where did your journey start with all of this incredible life that you're living right now and gifts that you're bringing to people?
Thank you.
It's
so
quite an array here. So
I'll try to give you the Reader's Digest version because it could go on for hours, right?
Yep.
But I'm a registered nurse. I just actually stepped into the non-practicing class after 38 years of frontline nursing. And I was the most unlikely person to ever become a nurse. I was a pass-out queen in training. They asked me to reconsider my goals. And I said, I'm going to graduate if it kills me. Watch me. And I did. So after, I actually had a job when nobody had a job waiting for them when I got done my career, my training. So I was very lucky to step in all those years ago into the front line and never looked back. Did I pass out during that time? Absolutely. Of course, there are certain things that bother us. Some people, it can be the sight of blood. And for me, it was always venipunctures. When you're trying to wiggle that needle into a difficult vein, it would just get me. So anyway, luckily, there's a niche for everyone in healthcare and in particular nursing. It's a very dynamic field. And through those years, I was lucky not only to work med-surg, long-term care for many years. The last part of my career was mostly long-term care. But in there, I also became a college instructor. And also I worked for the Ministry of Health up here in Canada for a while as well. And so I really feel that after all these years that I just had it, the things of the last couple of years has really drawn a line for many of us as to whether or not we'll cross and carry on, or we're going to re-examine our goals and step out. And that's exactly what I did. But it wasn't cold turkey. For many years, I had been learning about integrative approaches to health and wellness. And one of the things that really knocked my world was nearly 20 years ago, I learned Reiki. And it was at my place of work. It was a hospital. And one of the volunteer services, there was a volunteer on service who was a Reiki master. And none of us had heard about Reiki before, or other than if it came from a prescription or a procedure or a physician's word of mouth or whatever, the orders, it just did not exist in my world. So I was very much into the pharmaceuticals and the allopathic medicine. That is our realm, our mainstream medicine. And it was at a lowest point in my life. My marriage was very difficult. I had a lot of young children. I was trying to juggle so much that Reiki entered my life. And just a 5-minute hands-on session teleported me basically into such a state of bliss and relaxation that even though things were still the same on the externals, I floated over the next couple of days. I felt peaceful and light, and I just had to learn more. And so that put me on a quest of learning more, which led me over the next few years to become a Reiki master. But it also opened up me to this whole thing about energy medicine and the whole study of this. So where there are therapeutic touch was actually an energy medicine practice that was started by two RNs working on their doctorate in New York State. So, there is this combination. We know about touch, healing touch. A mother's touch to a child is so healing, compassionate touch that we do without thinking. But when you start to understand that there's a whole energy realm behind it and why it works and why it needs to be more integrated into our healthcare system, and why is it that not everybody knows about this, is truly a mystery to me. Because every student I've ever taught in college all got to learn and experience Reiki, and many of them went on to actually train. But the other thing is that as life has gone on, I often wondered in my practice, why is it with the advancing of technology in healthcare, why are people sicker now than ever before? Well, there are a lot of theories out there, but I also have to suggest that it is maybe perhaps our technology itself that is making us sick. It's causing a lot of discordance in our bodies and our cells, and really making it difficult for our cells to communicate and function properly. And it was a few years back that I actually learned about pulsed electromagnetic field therapy and why that is something that should be integrated into everybody's home and life. And if not in your own home, at least have access to this technology. And we can talk more about that. But it's been an amazing ride to become this empowered nurse. A few years back, I actually made a suggestion to a local TV show about how they needed to consider more realms of positive programming. And lo and behold, they approached me and asked me to produce a show. And we've been doing that for 7 years now, and I'm proud of it.
Good for you.
Thank you. And so you can see that you can take your skill set and you can transcend it beyond the job. And that's what I'm here to really share.
Oh, you know what? What a great message. Really, it really is. And can you so for people who don't know what Reiki is, they've heard it, kind of a buzzword maybe for them, just give a small little synopsis on what actually Reiki is. Like if you're going for a session, what would you expect?
Okay, awesome. Reiki can be as short as 5 minutes, or it can be as long as an hour plus. It depends on what the needs of the person are. But Reiki is actually Japanese for two words, two phrases: universal life force energy. So life force energy is what courses through us, is what gives us life. It's universal in that we all that are living and have a life force inside of us can experience this energy. And what a Reiki practitioner is someone who has been attuned, like a tuning fork, to the frequencies of energy all around. And what happens is when we put our hands on, or even just beaming the energy that flows through my fingers and out of my palms to the person that I'm working on, or plants, or even pets and animals love it. Anything with a life in it can experience Reiki. And so that energy flows through to the person. I connect with them. And basically, I connect into their energy field, and it feels something like this. So when I put my hands on somebody, I feel, my hands don't move necessarily, but I feel this.
Yeah.
And then I just say my mantras, my prayers to that person, and the energy flows from me to them, and they get exactly what they need. So even if I put my hands on a different part of their body, if they need energy still up here, it flows there. It's incredible. And what it does is it breaks through the pain, fear, anxiety triangle that I often associate with people's issues.
And it's really powerful, isn't it? Like I just know that the healing, even as children, right? We hurt ourselves, and the first place we go is to put our hands on where it's hurt, right? Because the healing and the intention that comes through there, we're just not aware that that's even a thing, most of us, right? And so when you hone into that, like it's really quite incredible, isn't it? Like it's So if anybody hasn't experienced Reiki, it's really, really worth to look into. I have a girlfriend who's keeps bugging me because I was supposed to do her class and do all that, but just COVID and everything hasn't quite transpired yet. But you're a master at doing the Reiki. You've done that, and you're teaching others
Teach?
as well.
Yeah. Yes, I do. Actually, I want to teach you something right now.
Teach me
Okay.
something. Yes, please.
Okay. So we all have the ability, like you say, touch, and how we absolutely ground ourselves with touch whenever we hurt something. But if you put your hands, so put one hand on your chest and let the other one rest on your tummy. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And then repeat Reiki, Reiki, Reiki 3 times. You'll start the flow of energy, and you can feel this for yourself. We'll just do that for a few minutes. Just Reiki, Reiki, Reiki. And just close your eyes. Focus on where your hands are. And you'll see I'm starting to weave back and forth because the vibration of the Earth's resonance, the energy is just making me kind of relaxed and in the flow. And you can do this. This is wonderful as a relaxation for yourself whenever you're in a stressful situation, or if you're trying to get to sleep and you can't, try this.
Oh.
So, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
That was just a big nugget of gold for me.
Excellent. Yeah, and the thing is about Reiki is people sometimes get caught up that it is religious dogma or it will interfere with their faith.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you something. It is universal. And for anybody who's Christian and worries about this sort of thing, just think, what did Jesus do? He put his hands on people, right?
Yes, he did.
That energy flow for him is the same energy flow for us. The miracles can happen when you just really try something different. You'll get a different outcome in life.
And you're really, really having something flow through you. It's spirits flowing through you, right? It's not like, is that how you would explain that? That's the energy that's flowing through you. It's not that we're trying to heal, but it's that we're allowing that source energy to come through us to help share and create that oneness.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And yes, exactly. And well said. And yes, you can put different names to it. You can say spirit flowing through you, energy flowing through you.
Whomever, yeah. But there's
Yeah,
it's like an energetic like source. You can feel that power flowing through you, which then for myself, whenever you're doing any healing or holding a space of love, that energy, when you're doing that, just amplifies the good for yourself 100-fold, isn't it? Like
absolutely.
the gift is
Absolutely.
in that giving, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. So
Tell
as
us
an
about your
untrained
TV.
person,
Tell us about your TV show. What do you do on your TV show? You're
okay.
a TV show producer. You're the host of the Rogers. Like tell us about this. This is an exciting kind of endeavor as well, which you teach and share this information.
Yes, exactly. So I do. So it's a half-hour TV show. It is filmed once a month, and then it airs over 2 different affiliates for about 50 times. So it gets a lot of airplay. And the nice, beautiful thing about it is there's a link, and people around the world are watching it. So I'm very privileged and very happy to be able to do this. And what I do is I share some of my wisdom, but I have a lot of amazing guests on the show who are either sharing their empowerment through music, empowerment through their messages. Like I've had a phenomenal man who Lyme's disease is really big here. And he started a whole groundswell movement about education for Lyme's disease once his daughter actually became afflicted. And he has local groups and seminars and a magazine and everything. So my last guest was Alexander Mostovoy, who is a now retired naturopathic doctor, but he has opened up to the whole world about thermography as an alternative to mammograms for breast screening, and is an expert on breast cancer and how it can be prevented, and how thermography can capture probable problems years in advance of feeling it or having a mammogram, and you can actually change the tide of your health. So these are the types of guests that I have. And I've just been privileged for the past 7 years. I fell into this idea about becoming a host. I put a show recommendation out to the local affiliate, and they wrote me back and said, "Great idea, and we want you to produce it." So
Yeah.
it's like, who knew, right? There are
Well, it's
many
a great
times.
idea, and take your idea and run with it. It was really, you were just given the full reins. That is just
Absolutely.
what a gift. Well, and what
Yes.
a gift you are to be, you're open and you're sharing an incredible wealth of information that a lot of the mainstream, we don't know. And it's so important that we have the knowledge so that then we can make a decision instead of just the medication or just what we've been taught and told for so many years, right? And it's just this mainstream way of, you go to the clinic, you go to the doctor, you take your medicine, you do this, you get your surgery. But we need to have this, but we have so much more because we're energetic beings. And we're
Absolutely.
just coming into, I think there's a lot of people that are awake to that, but I have so many people in my life that still think I'm crazy and just talking that crazy stuff again, that energy. But I mean, I think that when you hear things, you really do know it lands as truth when you hear something that is, in resonance with our energy. Do you find that to be true for yourself, that it's just, you just know, you don't know why, you just know that's just how you feel when you're listening to it and how it's registering. And
Absolutely.
what do you say, how do you talk to um, people who just don't, it's just too out of the mainstream for them? Is there a way for knowledge that you can share that kind of opens them up a little bit?
Absolutely. And as a, former instructor and everything, I like to include a little bit of education all the time in everything I do. So what I say is, we are cell energy. We are not solid. This meat suit is not solid. That the spaces between the cells can equate to the distance of a football field between each cell relative to the size of the particle. So when we know that we have neurons and electrons and that there is cell charge, and we go back to basic chemistry, right? That is inside of us. It's not just theoretical stuff in a book, but we are the absolute application of all that science, that we know so little, that there's more vastness inside of us that we don't understand. And yet we are exploring space, which is very vast, but we haven't conquered the Earth sphere yet in terms of the human experience of energy. And there are some great scientists like the Schumann resonance of the Earth that has been proven that there is a magnetic field, that we walk on the Earth and in the Earth because that magnetic field resonates above the Earth, that when we are walking at the beach or smelling the sea air and stuff like that, we feel so much better than when we're walking on concrete and steel. So one of the things I like to show people is, just if everybody wants to try this yourself, and if you've done this before, but this is always fun to do, is if you put your hands and go back and forth and just start to feel what goes on inside your hand, you will feel a movement. It's almost like electricity between your hands. And if you do this long enough, you start to feel like this energy field is actually pushing against your hand, and you feel like a rubber band going on.
Absolutely.
And that's your electromagnetic field of your body. And so this is a very practical thing, that if you start to play with it, you can actually shape it into a ball and start to feel like it's taking on a life of its own. And how much fun is that? So, if you can feel that, then you can also feel this. So on our arms, we know we have little hairs. Some have more hair than others. But if you just hover your hand just above and start to go back and forth, your arm not only feels the heat of your hand as it's passing over, but your hairs start to stand up and they start to move with that electromagnetic field. And if you can't feel there, you can go closer.
Oh,
But
I
you'll
can
start
feel
to
it.
feel it.
That's great.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
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 So that's usually how I start the whole conversation about energy and medicine. And if people can understand that, I go on to explain that if you can feel that, imagine what your cells are feeling inside. And if they are, and we live in this Wi-Fi world, I like to say, we can't go without our gadgets and gizmos and our wireless technology. And it's good. But what is that technology doing to us? So we know that as we go up in the G's of cell phone, like 5G and all this sort of thing, we're getting into 5G. But the frequencies that 5G is giving us is way outside our normal body's healthy frequency. And so as we are going up into this stratosphere of higher intense energies, it's like being cooked by a microwave with the door open and standing in front of it. It's cooking us from the inside out.
Awesome.
It's causing, yeah, right? It's causing this discordance of cell frequency function and the confusion that's going on. Because again, if our cells are doing this, what do we know from a microwave oven when it's cooking? The inside cooks first, right? And it's this vibration of sound energy or frequencies of energy that's causing a freneticism of whatever it is that's being cooked. Same is happening inside of us.
That's frightening.
It is. And you think about cancers. What's cancer? Excessive rapid cell growth, right? So this is going on inside of us. So energy medicine, Reiki, or whatever it is that you a person may ascribe to in terms of energy medicine, could be therapeutic touch. There's so many, quantum touch, everything else. It calms the body down back into the Schumann resonance and causes that calming down, cooling down of cells inside our body.
Cooling down as well. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
So those are kind of some of the components I talk about with energy medicine and why it's so important for us to look at alternatives to what's going on environmentally. We have our genetic DNA, but we also have environmental DNA that's inside of our body. And this environmental DNA reacts to the environment that we live in. So if we're in this primordial soup of frequencies, of course, it's going to cause environmental damage. Another thing to think about with environmental DNA, if you are in a family and it has a high concentration of or high risk of cancer for whatever it is.
Yeah.
If you look at yourself and say, look at yourself, and this is for everybody in your audience to do, look at yourself in relationship to those around you. Do you do the same thing they do? And if you do, then the risks are higher for whatever disease process there is in the family. But if you were to stop and say, I'm going to quit smoking, I'm going to eat better, I'm going to exercise better, I'm going to think better, I'm going to have a sense of calm in my body, which is better, then you can practice something called epigenetics. The law of epigenetics is that you can change the environmental DNA simply by your thoughts and changing your lifestyle. It changes your outcome. So even if we can't move away from all the Wi-Fi stuff around us, if you change how you live, you can still exist inside that environment and change your life. And that's some good news.
Yeah. I do know that to be true. I do know. I had many experience of that, and our thoughts are so powerful. And setting that intention of what we're going to create today, instead of allowing ourselves to just get battered around throughout the day, is very, very powerful process. Or yeah, it works for me. It's something I need to do. When I don't do it, it's a hell of a day by the end of it. But you know what, I love what you're teaching. I think it's very simple, and people can understand it, and it's powerful. Like it's really important right now. And I wasn't even thinking about all the 5G. I was just thinking of the fear and the disease and how everybody's got, fighting their family if they've got a different point of view, and just everything. It's like it's black or white. The contrast is so extreme right now, and that's not even thinking about the 5G.
Right. That's just one small component in the big
That's
scheme of things right now. And there's all this fear porn going on, right?
yes.
And we can see the effects, right? The
Oh,
suicide risks are
it's
higher, disease is higher.
incredible.
It
It's
is.
incredible, and people think they're ashamed because they think it's them. They don't realize that there's other people that are all experiencing that same feeling of incredible overwhelm and anxiety, and it's quite a time we're living in. These
Right.
tools are really, really important, and they work, and they're natural and powerful.
And we have the power. That's the biggest thing. We have the power.
And we just weren't nobody's taught us yet. So this is yeah, it's just we need to know this stuff. And so when people are just getting on this train and start to say, oh, okay, well, that, I want to learn more about that. What is the best direction? Like, where do you kind of gear them off to?
Well, yeah, so
There's
so
so
a
many
couple
venues,
things.
right?
There
Right.
is.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so my website is a great place to start. You can
Yes.
start communication by filling in a form and saying, "Hey, Brenda, hi, I saw you on this show, and I'd like to connect. I'd like to talk more. Start a conversation. I've got a form right there. You can hit send and communicate with me, and I'd be happy to help you and steer you in some thinking that can help and coaching. I just think that the rest of our life can be the best of our life, and sometimes we don't know where we're following in life to know, and I'm at a point now, so I've done the career thing. I've absorbed everything I can possibly do from the medical system, and I'm ready to share some of these years of wisdom with people, and so I'm here for you.
Do you know what's so great also is the fact that you are a nurse. You have that whole medical background. You know it. You've been there. And so you can share this, and then how you integrate this in for people who are very scared and maybe not as open, but know that what they're doing isn't working.
Right. That's right. Exactly.
You-
I can even teach Reiki online. So, if somebody wants to even learn level one, level two of Reiki and
Yeah.
have that in their tool belt, if they want to learn more about PEMF therapy, I've got that for your tool belt. If you
Let's talk
want
about
to,
that a little bit. Let's touch
yeah,
on base on that a little bit more, because I think this is really powerful.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So several years back, 4 or 5 years ago, I was co-hosting with another integrative health nurse who does practice. She does thermography scans, and she opened me up to the fact that breast cancer is preventable, and led me to connecting with Dr. Alex Mostovoy and more of these integrative things. So I had brought my piece and was also pretty good at marketing and all this sort of thing. So it was a perfect thing. But one of the guests that are speakers at our events was a gal named Allie Oaks. Ox is her last name. Sorry, Allie Ox. And she actually brought PEMF therapy to North America,
Wow.
which PEMF is pulsed electromagnetic field therapy. And it was through her breaking down. She was not doing life anymore. She was working as a PSW, which is a nurse's aide. She was running a B&B and had horses and was falling apart. She was depressed. She needed a hysterectomy. She needed joint replacements. You name it, she needed it. And she wasn't doing life very well. A friend of hers in Germany told her about, you got to try this. She ordered the system, and it was a bit of an expense, and it still is. But what it can do for you is it transcends a lot of things that you would be dipping your toes into, the fountain of youth and health and all this sort of thing, brings it all together into one package that you can use at home. It's a mat system with copper coils in it, using Tesla technology that was developed by NASA to get astronauts to stay and live in space for long time. We need this now more than ever, because the Earth's magnetic field is interrupted by our man-made structures, concrete, tar, carpeting, everything that interferes with breaking us from the earth's resonance is really interfering with our health and well-being, even from that level. So when she started using her system, she got it. She noticed that she was feeling better. She was sleeping better. Her weight normalized. She didn't need those replacement surgeries. It led her to explore more. And so she connected with the people in Germany that built these systems. And like I say, she started Swiss Bionic Solutions in Canada, and it spread globally from her. And so this technology is needed more than ever. I got my own system 4 years ago, and I have since normalized my weight. I sleep better. My body systems, where I needed to have gallbladder surgery, I've never needed to have it. I don't hurt. So you can imagine a 38-year nurse who has been lifting, like I was around when they didn't even have mechanical lifts. So I was lifting people and heavy people, twisting my back, hurting myself, pushing carts that are awkward to push. So I had degenerative disc disease. And ever since I started using it, the weight has normalized, the pain is gone. And I'm 59 years old. I'm turning 60 in next month.
Wow, it's amazing.
I feel better now.
I'm not good at that at all.
No.
All right, let's order us up a whole bunch.
Absolutely. Actually, it's really interesting because the medical center on Capitol Hill in Washington has 6 of these systems.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But the public doesn't know about it. It's not in the mainstream for some reason.
Yeah, exactly. He hasn't made it over there. Tony Robbins, Tony is high powered. He uses a Swiss Bionic EMF system. He has 3 or 4 of them, I guess, always on him between his breaks and his shows, and won't go anywhere without him.
Well, and he also would have has some genetics where he grew very large too. So he probably would have joints, and I mean, he's very physical, and I don't know for sure, but I'm just guessing. So something like that would be, if he's using it, that it's working well.
Right.
Because he looks like he's always in tip-top shape to me.
Yeah, doesn't he? Yeah.
So you order one of these mats, and then so it's copper, and so you lay on this mat. And how long do you lay on this mat?
You can lay on as short as 10 minutes, and there are pre-programmed presets in here for regeneration and sleep and activity and all this sort of stuff. Or you can manually set your time. But 10 minutes on a system will give you up to 6 hours of healthy cell resonance. So where I was talking about frenetic cells like this, and when your cells entrain with each other, you can imagine a better exchange of waste and nutrients and oxygen, and just the flow is easier. You feel your body calm right down. And also these systems are licensed as a Class 2 medical device by Health Canada and the US FDA to improve circulation and reduce pain. So a lot of people with chronic pain and lymphatic drainage issues and everything are using these and feeling so much better. So you can have that confidence that's back.
And do you actually feel it? Like if you've laid on there for 20 minutes, say, do you get up and do you feel different in your body? Like do people, or is it something that is, a couple of month process and then you start to notice? Is there something that is there benefits that are right away?
Yeah. Some people get up and have like, oh, my pain is gone. I had one lady who used the pillow pad. There's short pieces as well, so smaller pieces for travel. She had the small pillow pad on her, and she had polymyalgia and lived with a lot of pain, and it would move around all the time. She got up after that short session, and she did not have any more recurrent pain for 72 hours after. So that was very dramatic. Some people don't have those dramatic results. Some people, it's just they notice their very first night they sleep better. Like that in itself is huge. Some people will feel just absolutely calm. Some people feel nothing. And but the thing is, though, the more, consistent use, this is something you use daily for the rest of your life, but you enjoy doing it. It's not a chore. It's not like, oh, I got to go do my calisthenics or something, and you go, I don't want to do it. You want to do this. You like to do it. And it just, you just feel good. And even I have found that even when the system is turned off and you lay on it, and sometimes I've done so much as laid on it and fell asleep and slept half the night on it. But the copper coils themselves are automatically helping you as well, because copper is medicinal.
Makes sense. Okay, and so if they're a big price ticket, so you've got 5 people in your family and you want to share it, is that a thing that could happen? That you could share it within a few people within the family? Yeah.
Absolutely. So if you have a family of 5 at home and everybody schedules their time and gets on it, like even before dinner or something like that, your son gets on it say you have athletic children.
Yeah.
A lot of people, and I've seen this in actual professional sports, where people will, like a figure skater, will lay on the mat and then go skate. So laying on the mat enhances your performance before, like if you do it before whatever, and then helps accelerate the healing post athletic event. So actually, there are people that have had non-unionized fractures, so a clean break fracture in the wrist or whatever. They have found that being exposing the injury to PEMF therapy will accelerate the healing exponentially.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
So every home needs it. You can put your plants on it. We've had people do experiments where they take the 2 same potted plants. One is the control and it sits out over here in the window, and the other one goes on the mat every day, 15 minutes. And you can see the proliferation of growth on the plant that has been exposed to pulsed electromagnetic fields.
Incredible.
Pets love it. Pets love it. Pets have no biases.
Oh, my puppy needs that. He's getting old. Old and achy, the poor guy. Yeah.
I totally understand. I have a 19-year-old Jack Russell. And when she goes outside, she never aches. You never see her hurt. So she gets on the mat. She's exposed to it all the time. Animals have no biases. They don't need to read reports and studies. They just know it feels good.
That's right. Don't you love them? Yeah. Unconditional love. They just know it feels good. Yeah, all that stuff, right? Thank God for them.
Yes, exactly. So so it's a phenomenal thing. I really believe that every home, it's my mission. I believe all health is self-health.
I'm gonna have one for my family. There's all kinds of things going on in my family, and I've thought about it for a few years. And to be quite honest, because of the price, just kind of never really did it. Not for any, just I think that just kind of is a stopping spot, because without the knowledge, you don't really realize there's no price you can pay for that.
That's right. And the thing is, though, see, I was a single mom and just going through divorce and everything when I bought my system. There are payment plans too. So, for 100 and change per month, you can amortize it over whatever period of time.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah, that's good to know.
As you start feeling well, then everything starts to work and the snowball starts to go. And then all of a sudden abundance is rolling, health's rolling. That's just the way that works. Yeah, so that's a really good
well,
thing.
The other thing is too, we are living in a time where the pricing of components like copper and lithium batteries and all this stuff is escalating, right? Inflation is happening. And if you are interested at all, this is the time. Until March 31st, the company that I work with, we have held our prices down, and I know from internal communications they're gonna go. So
well, you'll have to put one aside for my family, because I will definitely purchase one. Yeah, I have a daughter that had a massive surgery done. She's under the house with cerebral palsy, and we found a surgery that kind of was a miracle cure, and she can now has a life just like everybody else. She just learned how to ski this year. And she's really, we've been given a miracle, but she hurts, there's those muscles, the brain was telling those muscles to stay spastic and tight for So there's, lots of things that she's still working out in her body, and well, and all of us, we all have stuff, right? So yeah,
Yeah,
put one
yeah,
aside for me.
absolutely.
And
Okay,
anybody
we'll
else
do it.
that's watching, they've got to get on the get your number on there before they, but this lithium and the copper, that's what they're using to build 5G, and there isn't enough. Those are the the what do they call them, the metals,
Oh yeah, all the precious
they're
metals are really
the
getting
precious metals,
sucked up.
thank you.
Yeah,
There's not
silver
enough.
in particular. Yeah.
They need to start mining, and it's going to go through the roof because they don't have enough to make these batteries. So what you're saying is 100% true. I know that. I've heard that for a while and have been investing in those little side think batteries just because it's going to be a huge problem. So yeah, because everything, the cars, all these things that are made out of batteries, these are these materials. So
Absolutely. It's really important. So yeah, if I can be of any benefit, please reach out to me. I'm here for you. I can help you get set up whichever way possible, and happy to help, because our medical system is overloaded, overtaxed. Our emergency medicine is superb. If I was in an accident, fix me up, do whatever you can. Don't put an herb on me. But it's our medical management, our long-term scheme of things that really needs the help. And so integrative approaches is definitely the key.
it really is. And I just think about the different people that I have that I go to for, and my medical doctor is just a quarter of that pie now, whereas it used to be the whole pie without, the knowledge that we have now. We're energetic beings, and we need to address that energy, right?
Absolutely.
So a couple more things. So you're an author of what talk to us about what you've
Okay.
been writing about. What are the names
Okay.
of your author?
Absolutely. Yeah. I've been a contributor to many books, but myself and a personal friend of mine, Dr. Sue Dank, who's a clinical psychologist, we met several years back, and we found out that we were both parents of loss. And it has been our mission to figure out what to do with that. And so we're launching very shortly a book series, and number one in the book series is called The Secret Child: Life After Loss. And it's a compilation book. We have several parents who share their stories, but there's a twist. So the twist is that it's easy to get caught up in the grief and the pain of grief and the insurmountable grief of it all.
Yeah.
That is something you never lose, but it's how you process it over time. And so it came to me and Dr. Sue a few years ago that our children never left us to hurt us. That's number one. You hear grieving parents and they can't live without their child, understandably. But the thing is, though, there's got to be an outreach or a legacy from that child that gives us purpose and strength and stamina to go on. So for some parents is they give bursaries in their children's name to schools and whatever. Some parents, there's foundations and charities they get behind and that sort of thing. Some parents have lost their child, never even took a breath. And so they have nothing at all to hold. They never held their child, really. They never watched them grow at all. And so this book, and sharing some of these stories of parents of children of loss of any age and any reason, this is something they can hold that gives credence to the fact that their child lived and gives their life purpose to help other parents of loss. Dr. Sue and I also have combined our heads to do some therapeutics at the end of the book. There's a beautiful chapter of several pages on tips of how to cope, how to get through it, because sometimes we hold on to our grief longer than other people around us hold on to the grief for us. And sometimes they wonder, when are we going to get through it, get over it, whatever. They say maybe not very kind things. Their actions speak louder than words and look like they can't handle it, but it looks like rejection to us. There's so much that goes on in the world of a grieving parent. And this book is meant to really help with sharing and knowing that there's life and purpose beyond the death and the grief.
Yeah, I lost my daughter 4 years ago, and I can attest to that. Yeah, hence the
Sorry to
natural
hear.
healing reel.
There you go, purpose,
Yeah,
right? Purpose.
yeah,
Beautiful.
absolutely. I again tip my hat to you for doing that. Yeah,
And I tip my
it's
hat
big,
to you
it's
for
big
sharing.
stuff, and people don't know, and you don't want them to know, but what you're saying, like the perception and how you're perceived and how you're perceiving, and it can really freeze you in not healing when you're being judged and you're not understood, or there's a compound of things that are happening. It's I know from my experience, it was a very deep dark tunnel to come out of, and I'm
It is.
so grateful to have. I feel that I have more communication. I feel my daughter all day, every day, and she walks with me, and just that we're all. I believe and know that we're energy, and energy is infinite, and I taught her that. I raised her like that, and she believed that, and so she's very present, very present. Yeah, yeah.
That's
So
excellent.
good,
Yeah.
good on you, girls. That's incredible. It's yeah. I'm still going to have lots of different things to share as well, but you have to be to that place where you know how to share that. But I will be purchasing that book and sharing that book because it's needed. It's needed, that information. Thank you.
We just never know
Oh,
where help comes from in our life, right? We just
right?
have to just be open for the help and the opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. So we were talking about ending off our session with a hypnosis session. And I hope that our viewers will take this opportunity to embrace this gift. And if you want to just lead up with that and anything else that you would like to say before we finish, and then we can end on that on a quiet note of
Absolutely.
the hypnosis. Is that how you would like to end it?
Yes, yes, that's
Yeah.
great. So on not knowing how much time we have, what
Whatever time you'd like.
oh, okay, awesome. So we'll try to go if we have 15, 20 minutes, that would be really wonderful. And it will
Yeah.
give everybody a taste of what it's like to really reach that total relaxation, right? I think we all need that.
Yes, we do. I think if we started there, our days in our world would be so much different.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we can do this ourselves. So again, this is another self-education technique.
Yep.
Um, so I am a registered, what am I?
Yeah, many things.
Okay, so I am a rapid transformational therapist. I've just recently just graduated from Marissa Pearce School um, of RTT, and part of it is that I am now a certified hypnotherapist. It took me a while to get through the program, but it is amazing how this technique of RTT, and we're only doing the hypnosis part, is so transformative in relieving the blocks, the subconscious blocks that have been holding us back and holding us stuck in our lives. And this can be anything from anxiety, it can be from post-traumatic stress, it can be from eating disorders, it can be from wanting addictions, so addictions relief. Also, it can help with performance. So if anybody's in athletics and really wants to get advance their craft, no matter what it is, RTT is perfect for that as well. It can be done in one person, it can be done in groups, it can be done, all manner of things. But this is one of the things that I can offer people. So if you go to www.brendapearce.com, fill in the form, just say, hey, I heard you speak and I'd like to have more information. I will reach out to you and we can set up whatever it is you're looking for.
Nice.
And yes, so everybody just sit really nice. If you have your feet, if you're sitting up, sit with your feet down on the ground and your hands not crossed and your legs not crossed and your hands resting in your lap. And what we're going to do is start with a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Slow and deep. And what right away, you're getting into that state of calmness. We know that a deep breath can settle anything. So we're doing that. Now, what I'd like you to do is just watch me first because you'll be doing this, you won't be able to see. So what you do is you roll your eyeballs upwards as if looking to a real or imagined spot overhead. And you take a deep breath in. And again. And you may notice that your eyelids are starting to blink, and that's okay. You just, as long as you're maintaining your gaze up, if you blink, that's okay. That's hypnosis actually coming upon you. So again, another deep breath in. And on the exhale, you lower your eyes over your upturned eyeballs. Keep your eyes turned up underneath your lids and exhale. And then what you do is you just gently tip your head forward and relax your eyes under your eyelids. And know that there's nowhere to go and nothing to do. This is your time. And as a little gentle test, try to open your eyelids right now. And you'll find that they're heavy, droopy, drowsy. They're glued tight, locked tight, sealed shut. Okay, so I'll walk you through that first part again. So sitting forward, turn your eyes upward, look to a real or imagined spot, as if looking between your eyebrows to the ceiling above or wall. Taking a deep breath in and out. Maintaining your gaze, take another deep breath in. And if your eyelids start to flutter, that's okay. Breathe out. That's hypnosis coming upon you. This time, take a deep breath in while maintaining your gaze upwards. Roll your eyelids over your eyes on the exhale. And drop your chin. And relax your eyes under your eyelids. Now try this for yourself. Try to open your eyelids, and you'll find that they're glued tight, locked tight, sealed shut. They feel droopy, drowsy, heavy, and oh so relaxed. And that's hypnosis coming upon you. Now, imagine yourself standing at the top of 10 steps descending. And you see your feet, hear your feet, feel your feet as you take step number 9, descending into a deeper state of awareness and yet so relaxed. Your hands can reach the handrails beside you very easily, and yet you feel so safe, so protected, so light as you take step number 8. You move on over into a deeper state of relaxation as you let go of the now and you let yourself drift into a lighter state of being as you take step 7. A light, floaty feeling comes upon you as you take step 6. You feel your feet, you see your feet, you feel your feet as you are halfway down, taking step number 5 and 4. You feel lighter, you feel brighter, and yet oh so relaxed as you take step number 3 and 2 and 1. And as I click my fingers, you go 10 times deeper, 100 times deeper, 1,000 times deeper into a state of relaxation that feels so wonderful and so relaxed and so blissful. This is your time. You deserve this time. You need this time to recharge and relax and reflect and really reframe your life for ease and grace and peace. You are amazing. You are enough. You are smart enough, good enough, blessed enough, beautiful enough to have all the confidence in your life that you deserve, that you require, that you seek. You are at ease and you feel so easy and relaxed and centered and grounded. And you know that anything is possible. Everything is here for you to choose. And you choose wisely. And if health is something you choose, then you choose vital, good, pure health with your body now in an alkaline state of wellness, warding off any dis-ease or dis-ease. Your cells are vibrating in healthy frequency and exchange nutrients and waste in a way that maximizes cell function and allows your body to maximize its ability to move through day and night, recharging as you sleep and gaining a wakefulness in the morning with vibrancy and wellness flowing through every cell, every membrane, every vessel, every nerve of your body, every tissue. As your organs seek to realign and balance themselves anew, as if being reset to factory default settings. And you function fully, day in and day out, with vibrancy, beauty, ease, grace, balance, harmony, in a way that you've been seeking for a very long time. It is yours now because you are here now and you dared to dream of this now. And now, knowing that you have your hands on the pulse of life and it flows through you with vibrancy and health and wellness, emotionally, bodily, spiritually, you function fully and you are magnificent. We count ourselves up from 5 to 1. And as you return back into your beingness of the here and now, you smile with gratitude and feel the refreshness that you have just experienced fully and contentedly with harmony, ease, and grace. So rising up back to the here and now, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the here and now. And so it is. And taking a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Just wiggle your fingers and your toes and take a deep breath. And there you are.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Wonderful. Come visit me again.
Okay. Look forward to it.
Okay. And I'll contact you after this to get myself hooked up with, what are we calling it again?
The Omnium One PEMF system. And this system in particular is portable. You can take it anywhere you want, traveling, hotels, planes, trains, whatever, or just simply sitting in your own home. It's great.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for all of your incredible wisdom and knowledge and sharing with us. And that gift of healing there, that was incredible. Love it. Okay. See you again.
Thank you.
Soon.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.